This conscious parenting live is about being an ADHD mum or mom if you're American. So, this is something that I haven't really talked about much before, and it's quite new for me, kind of embracing this and also talking about it. Um, and so, this is really very much part of my parenting journey. And there are aspects to this that I think it's really helpful for me to talk about uh, for if you are an ADHD mum, but also if you're a parent as well, because um, who isn't an ADHDer? Because I think the guilt, the parenting guilt and parenting shame that the parents experience and have to kind of navigate and deal with um, gets really amplified when you have ADHD, and because of the consequences of what happens. Anyway, I'm going to share some of my experiences to kind of explain what I mean, really, and hopefully you'll be able to relate to it. So, I was thinking about, well, what does it look like for me? And um, my house is pretty messy. My house is a mess. I am definitely not a minimalist, there's kind of stuff everywhere, and I do find it hard to be organized in the physical space. And, it's reminded me, I went to a networking event. We did some painting, and I did this painting. And the host said, "Whoa, that looks like, you know, really chaotic." And I just went with the flow, and I was really painting what it was like in my head. And at the time I was like, "Oh." Um, but yes, that kind of makes sense. And I've literally just remembered this as I'm recording that. And I'm like, "Oh, that kind of makes sense with this lens, as to why that was." Now, with these conscious parenting lives, I do, and with all my videos and things, I do go off on a tangent, but I don't think a tangent's really quite the thing, because actually it's all relevant. It's all relevant. Anyway, ADHD mum, my house is a mess. I look organized on the outside, but I'm working really, really hard for that, you know? So that I'm working really hard not to be late to pick up my kids from school, to make sure I get to the school play or the school concert, to have the lunches ready, to grow my business and support my family, to do all of the things um, that are needed. Um, and I hold it together pretty well, And what I recognize now, seeing myself with this lens, is it is really hard. It takes a lot. It's hard, actually. I'm working hard to do that. Um, and I do have these time blindness moments. So one not that long ago, but a bit earlier in this year, um, was I was out. I went to the library and to the pharmacy with one of my children, and then I saw my daughter's mate. I'd just come up out of the pharmacy, and I saw my daughter's friend, and in that moment I realized school's finished, and and realized that she would be locked out because she didn't have a key, and I wasn't at home to meet her, and my partner was out. There's usually somebody at home, but on this day there wasn't. And so I felt really awful, and had to try and get in touch with her, and obviously got it all sorted out. And of course this was on a day when she had a quick turnaround for getting to her evening class as well. So yeah, needless to say, I felt really awful, really guilty, you know, um, beating myself up that I'd forgotten my child. Like I hadn't forgotten about her, but I was focused in what I was doing and I hadn't noticed the time. And this kind of time blindness thing, I realize, is there for me quite a lot. I get very focused on what I'm doing. I get very focused on the work I'm doing. So, um, yeah, I can easily lose track of time. Um, One of the upsides to this kind of focus that I have is now my children are older. If I go away, um, especially if it's just for a night or a weekend, I'm really absorbed in what I'm doing and I don't miss them. Now, again, parenting guilt, parenting shame. I was also in this place where I was thinking, I should miss them. Maybe that makes me a bad person or a bad parent if I don't miss them when I'm not with them. Um, and I think when they were younger, I found it very difficult to be away from them for uh, any length of time. And as they get older, that cord stretches, it expands, doesn't it? So now my children are older. A night or a weekend goes like that, and it feels like nothing, for me. And I really need those times to reset. I really need those times to fill up my cup. They're really important. Um, so, you know, what can you do when that kind of guilt or shame comes up? So there's a couple of things that I think are really helpful is to be kind to yourself, accepting of yourself and love yourself. So be kind, accepting and loving. And that is something that I'm working on and that I know kind of really helps. And for me, having this lens of ADHD as well really helps me be kind, accepting, and loving. Whereas before, I would beat myself up actually a lot more about these things. Um, and so to be kind, accepting, and loving. And the other thing is learn how to work with your nature. Learn how to um, work with what suits you and I mean, people call these things superpowers, but go with your innate nature and be kind just to yourself along that journey. And this really crosses over as well to our children as well, because doing that for yourself is really important, and being kind, accepting, and loving towards our children, um, for their innate nature and working with their innate nature as well is important, is really helpful, and makes parenting easier, more satisfying, and allows them also to be more fully themselves. So the work that I do is really to help parents be fully yourself and to hold your children and allow your children to be fully themselves, and for you to model that, you know, to that helps them, helps you, helps them. And that's what this conscious parenting is all about. Conscious and gentle parenting is all about, all the way that I do it anyway. So, um, so I hope you found this affirming. I hope you found this helpful, because I think whether you're an ADHD parent or not, these things are helpful regardless, actually. And this is something that, I'm talking about more and more, that the things that help neurodivergent parents, neurodivergent kids, um, are also the things that are amazing for everyone. So it's a win-win. if we can be doing things in those ways, in these gentle and conscious ways. So I hope you've taken some nuggets out of this. There is always some gold, I believe, in what I share. Um, you can check out more conscious parenting lives on this channel, subscribe to it. And if you found this helpful, please share it with somebody else that you think it would help, that you think it would um, inspire or touch or support. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you found this helpful. And if you're wanting support, do contact me. My contact information will be below. So reach out and you can always book a call to find out how I can support you along your gentle and conscious parenting journey. All right. Well, have a great day.